Hey everyone, CPM here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is September 5th, 2021. Like clockwork, Royal Canadian Mints continue to come up with new silver and gold coin for their beloved collectors. So today we're going to go through about 7 products on the list of offering. And if you don't want to sit through the entire video, I have the timestamps all made available for you in the description. You can click through them. You can jump ahead for the coins that you are interested. If you don't, that's totally okay too. I actually welcome you to just sit back and relax and watch the entire video, and let's go through all the offering that are there. For the very first coin that we're looking at here is the 10-ounce silver coin. This one has the wolf sketch by the artist Robert Bateman. Robert Bateman is a very famous, would it be very famous? I think so. Bateman is a very famous wildlife artist and a naturalist. He's very well known for his photorealistic paintings. But for today's artwork, we're looking at one of his very popular sketch. And this one is the wolf itself. Before we look at the coin and all its design, I want to go down to the bottom of the page. We see a COA, Certificate of Authenticity, that has a brief description of the artwork, and we see Bateman's signature on the card itself. On the flip side of that, we see a reproduction of that sketch. So take a closer look at this sketch that we see here, and then let's move up to the coin itself. So I think it transposes really well onto the surface of the coin. Notice the texture on the surface definitely has a bit of a rough sketch paper like texture to the surface of the coin. I think that's a very nice touch. Across the top we have the Canada 2021, and then you can kind of see that the surface of the coin has a gradual change to a very smooth finished surface. I think that's a very nice touch to it, because if you look at the texture of that paper, that sketch paper at an angle, everything starts to fade away as you kind of further into the sketch itself. So I think that's a very nice touch. At the bottom here we have Bateman's signature and the wolf's gaze. I think that was a very nicely done engraving on the coin. You can kind of see that the center piece of the head of the wolf kind of takes that prominent position at on the coin, and then even though it's not completely center, it's a bit off center. I think that is a very nice touch. And then everything kind of just fades away. The texture of the fur is also very nicely done as well. We're not looking for ultra fine detail, but I think transposing a sketch, a pencil sketch art onto a coin like this, I think it was done phenomenally. What else is there to say about this? Because this is a 10-ouncer, I think once you hold it in your own hand, there is going to be a lot of details for your eyes to kind of gaze on. So I think for anyone that likes 10 ounce or anything bigger than that, that is definitely a benefit of owning such a big coin. Beyond that, Bateman does have a lot of artwork that are done through coins with Royal Canadian Mint. So it's definitely not his first piece of work. So for those of you that follows him, I think this is definitely a coin that's worth collecting. Let's move on to the second coin. The second coin that we have here is the 1-ounce pure silver coin titled Generations. This one is a new series, I believe, with the Inuit Nunangat as the centerpiece. The transcription that we have here, so these symbols and characters, these are the native language that actually just says Inuit Nunangat. It is a new series, like I mentioned before, which commemorates the way that First People of Canada, how they tell the myth, the legends, and the stories that's been passed down from generations to generation, hence the title Generations. So the gifting of these knowledge, or the gifting of these tales, are usually being told from an elder to the younger generations. There's actually a story behind this coin. This design here depicts the goddess of the sea. Yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting story, albeit it's a bit sad as well. So I'm gonna just read through the description on the legend of the sea goddess. Nuliajuk was a beautiful girl who had refused many offerings of marriage through her life. One day, a young hunter arrived at her father's camp, dressed in warm furs. He spoke in a soft voice and promised to provide Nuliajuk with a good home and animals for food and clothing. He kept his face hidden under his hood, but Nuliajuk was sufficiently impressed with him, and she agreed to marry him. When she arrived at her new home on a remote island, Nuliajuk discovered that her husband was not a man, but a bird. She was cold and hungry. She cried out for her father to come and save her. But as she and her father paddled away, they were caught in a strong wind created by a bird's furious wind beats. Fearing for his life, Nuliajuk's father threw her over the side of the umiak. I guess that's the boat. She tried to save herself by holding on, but her father cut off her fingers, and then she fell into the water. As she sank to the bottom of the ocean, her fingers and hands took the form of different marine mammals, and she became the sea goddess. Hunters came to depend on her goodwill. When humans transgress the law of nature, the sea goddess keeps her children away, and the shaman must appease her by combing her hair. So anyway, I'm just reading through it, and I'm kind of thinking in my head, it's like, oh my god, like this, the story is kind of messed up. Well, at least at least by the first read of it, like why would her father cut off her finger so that she would just fall into the ocean? Anyway, so I'm sure there's probably a very significance to the story itself. I'm not here to judge the description of the story, and they're saying that this is just a version of the legend, and it could differ from region to region depending on where you're hearing the story from. So anyways, I think the legend definitely has an interesting twist. Definitely not for the faint of heart. So for the coin itself, we're looking at here is the, I guess, half woman, half fish, or a mermaid, I guess. And we can see that her left arm and left hand is clenching tight on her braided hair, long braided hair, that seems to reach all the way to the bottom of her tail. And the other hand, I guess since if the fingers are cut off, those are probably lost digits, and which turn into, I'm not sure what kind of mammal those are. I think those are seals, or some mammals, sea mammals in the ocean. Here's a head-on look at the coin itself. And then on the other side is Queen Effigy herself. Again, I think the artwork is definitely reflects the First People of Canada's artwork. We see similar art style like this. We don't see a face to the woman. Probably it's done for a reason. But I think it's a very simple and a nice looking piece of work. It's in a proof finish, meaning that everything in the background will be shiny, and then we have this matte texture finish on the centerpiece itself. All right, and the third coin that we're going to be looking at is a pure silver extraordinary high relief coin called the Bold Bison with a mintage of just 5,000. I actually did a video on this one, which is a proud bald eagle from the year 2020. It's also done in a similar fashion, extraordinary high relief silver coin. I think back then, if memory serves me, that the Bold Eagle silver coin has a height of 5.95 millimeter from the surface of the coin. And this one here, they say it's just a little bit over 6 millimeters. So I think there's that minute difference is really not gonna take the crown, but continue with that series with the wildlife wildlife portraits from Canada. This is the second coin in its series. So if you are following along or are continuing to collecting of that coin, this is definitely something to take a look at as well. Let's see, the head-on display of the Bison. Again, proof finish background is shiny finish, and then we have the textured look to the Bison itself. I think the portrait was done phenomenally. You can see the layered furs, and with the high relief, extraordinary high relief, it definitely gives that elevated look and that pop that you're looking for with that Bison's head. So, looks pretty majestic, if I may say so myself. All right, and here's the side profile of that silver coin. Definitely really, really high relief. All right, let's keep moving. We're moving on to the fourth product, which is also a extraordinary high relief coin. This one, it depicts the Lake Louise geographic location just around the lake. I think this one is an interesting coin. Out of everything that we've seen so far, I think I have my eyes set on this coin. But let's go through it. There's a couple things that I think is worth talking about. This coin, the amount of silver content on this one is interesting. It's sitting at about 2.64 troy ounce. So it's neither 2.2 troy ounce nor a 3 ounces, somewhere in between. I think the reason for that was just because of the amount of elevation that they are putting into place, just to kind of depict the peaks and valley of the mountains. I guess it's difficult to get it to an exact either a 2 ouncer or 3 ouncer. Not sure, but that's just kind of speculation coming from my end. I think it looks fantastic. We have a top view, and I think when I read through the description, it talks about how they use the satellites to take an elevated image of the area for Lake Louise, and then they use that and mapped out all the different elevations, and then they engraved that. They engrave the 3D model of the top view, and then turn that into this coin. So I think from an R&D perspective, this is definitely a very first thing that they have ever done. I think the other first that was the extraordinary high relief. It's been applied for the very first time onto a 50 millimeter wide or in diameter coin in their series. So this one there's a lot of firsts to this. And for a technology buff like myself, I think this is definitely takes the crown for the R&D innovations coming from the Royal Canadian Mint. So if we take a closer look of this silver coin, you can see that, okay, let's start from the outside in. The outside edge, or the outside band, okay, I think the exterior band is a shiny finish. So that means what we're looking at here, it should be a matte finish as on the centerpiece. And by looking at it, we can also, not sure if the video is picking it up, but you can also see that the peaks of the mountains has a shinier finish than the matte silvery finish around the mountains. So that was there for a reason. They wanted to kind of show off the snowy peaks of the mountain, a bit of a silverish reflective surface. So I think that's a very nice touch. And then obviously we have the Lake Louise itself sort of sitting or wedged in between the peaks, and that is done with a translucent blue enamel finish to it. So I think that looks fantastic as well. So it's, instead of just a dab of blue paint, it's actually semi-transparent, translucent, if you will. So I think that looks very, very good. And if we look at it from a different angle, I think this one here looks more prominent with the silver shiny finish. Also a bit more reflective surface on the peaks of the mountains, where the rest of the mountain are just a bit of a matte finish. So it really highlights the contrast between the peaks and the valleys. Again, here you can still see that translucent enamel that's been done to the lake. This is a phenomenal piece with the mintage of only 3,000. So I think this one would probably go pretty fast for those of you who has an eye on this piece. I've been to Lake Louise myself, and I think this one really takes the cake for something that you can relate to. Royal Canadian Mints is famous for a lot of different artists, whether it's a photographer or it could be wildlife animals. They always depict something that the Canadians are very proud of. Lake Louise is definitely a touristy spot, but I think it is a very beautiful place in the geographic part of the Canadian Rockies. All right, let's keep going. The fourth product was the Lake Louise silver coin. I think that is a phenomenal coin to own. The next one that we're looking at here is the Radiant Crown. This is the fractional silver set or silver fractional set. They come out one set a year. This is actually for the year 2022. And believe it or not, we are actually already on the last quarter of 2021. So like clockwork, like I mentioned before, they come out with a set like this every single year. So for this Radiant Crown fractional set, there are 5 silver coins that are in here with a limited mintage of just 3,000. Each year has a set like this, but then for each of the set, usually there's a very different coin from the rest. And even though the design is exactly the same, but there is usually a twist to it. And we're going to take a look at the very first 1 ounce silver coin. The 1 ounce silver coin has a special texture on the maple. This is the sugar maple leaf. And the texture on it is slightly different from the rest. This one uses I think they call the diamond dust or diamond glitters. This is with a special technology that they have to piece the glitters onto the surface of the maple leaf. So I think with a closer look like this, I think this one is definitely something different, something special. The Radiant Crown, we can see on the other side of the coin, we have Queen herself. This one is a younger queen that was featured in between 1990 to 2002. And then the queen has I think this is called a diadem crown, has 1,333 crown jewels or diamonds that is being set in place. So that is the reason why the maple leaf in the front here has all these diamond glitters. So I think the design, the artwork with the diamonds really take place here for the maple leaf. So we have the 1 ouncer, we have the half ounce. So on the half ounce here, we don't actually have the diamond glitter or the diamond dust on the maple leaf anymore. And then we have a 1/4 ounce. Again, it's just the same design, just much smaller. And then we have 1/10 of an ounce. And then we have 1/20 of an ounce. Like even just looking at it, you can really see you have to zoom in to see the coin itself. Interestingly, I've never owned a fractional set myself. But I think for those that are collecting these on an annual basis, this is another one that is probably worth collecting, just because they've used they're using a revived design of Queen herself on the back of each of the coins. All right, and the 6th product that is being released for September is the Gold Bolt Bison. It is the same design as the silver coin that we looked at before. Beyond the composition of gold contents and the amount of gold that's being used in this coin, that's probably the only difference between this one and the silver coin. This is a 2 ounce gold coin with the mint is 250. It's already sold out on the Mint's website. So if you want this specific gold coin, I think you probably want to go into the secondary market or look at the retailers, some of the direct retailers of the Mint. You'll probably be able to pick one up there. So if you are interested in getting this, call them up or look at the suggested retail sites. I'm sure you can get something there. Again, extraordinarily high relief. I think this one looks fantastic from a side angle. The capsule that these coins comes in will be fairly thick, but again, it'll look really, really nice. The case that the gold coin comes in is also very different. It's a wood finish box. I think I would say that all the high-end luxury coins coming out of Royal Canadian should definitely use boxes like this for display. Anything less than that's not wood, I don't think I would even consider acceptable, at least for my standard. But you know, your mileage may vary. That is just my take. All right, so this is the sixth coin or the sixth products that we wanted to look at. The last one is a holiday 5-coin gift card set. They come out with one of these every single year as the holiday season approaches. It's good for holiday stuffer or just gifting for families and friends. I think this is a nice touch, but I probably won't collect something like this. Something to kind of watch out for is for this holiday gift set, there is a special loonie with a different design than the conventional circulation coins. And that is this coin. It has a pair of hands wearing winter mittens with snowflakes kind of glitter all over it. I think this is a very nice looking loonie. For some reason, there is another loonie that's in the image gallery here with the hands holding a box of gift or gift box. If you look at the gift card itself, it doesn't really show that design with the two hands holding a gift, and with the gift card opened up, we don't see that in here either. So I wonder if this is an error on the Mint's website, or perhaps there's two versions of the same gift card set. Who knows? If you are watching from Royal Canadian Mint and if this is an error, please leave a comment down below. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but anyways, I'm not gonna look too deep into it. So between last video and this video, there was three different, I think there's 3 products that I didn't mention from my previous video. We have the Faces of the Empire. This one is it's a subscription set, so and it's not actually from Royal Canadian Mint. This one is from the New Zealand Mint. I guess Royal Canadian Mint has a relationship with them, and they do resell their products over here in the Great White North. So for the Faces of the Empire, the very first one is Darth Vader himself. I think it looks pretty cool. It's not something that I would want to collect. I think the second and the third coin has to do with the stormtroopers. There is some leak image out there that you could probably look it up. But this is what that looks like. I always liked New Zealand Mint packaging. I think it looks pretty neat. I wish we have something like this for the Royal Canadian Mint. But we are always into sort of wildlife commemorating type coins, so we probably won't have anything as cool as these. All right. Oh, actually, we do have a list of the coins. So the second one is the Imperial Stormtrooper, and the third one is the Imperial TIE Fighter Pilot. So I think the price are fairly in line with the. It is a bit more expensive than the New Zealand Mint, I have to say. And if you're a Canadian, you can actually order directly from New Zealand Mint. Everything that you get shipped directly from there, and there is no taxes, there's no duties whatsoever coming into Canada. Just as an FYI. And then lastly, second last one, we have the Millennium Falcon shaped silver coin with the limited mintage of 5,000. That one's already sold out, and I believe it's also sold out on the New Zealand Mint website as well. I think this one looks pretty cool, just because the coin is shaped like the Millennium Falcon. Lots of details on the surface of the coin. It is a very small coin though. It's only a 1 ounce silver coin, so you're gonna need a magnifying glass to see in all its glory. Again, their box, I just can't stop raving about the display packaging. I think the box that it comes in is also really, really nicely done too. I wish Royal Canadian Mints would listen and just, bring up their games in how the packagings are done for their products. All right, the last coin I'm going to take a look at here is the 1 ounce pure silver concave coin that commemorates the 125th anniversary of the Klondike gold rush. This coin here looks fantastic. It is gilded or plated, depending on how you want to call it. It's 84% sold already, so I think it's going to go pretty quick. So the punch-in look of the silver coin is a very interesting take to the Klondike gold rush. Within the center of the silver coin, it looks like essentially it's depicting the pan, and then how people go into the river and they get sand and rocks into their pan and they sift through it, and then they will find out there is gold nuggets within their findings. So the gold nuggets are gold plated once again, and I think that's a really, really nice touch. And then at the bottom here we have that ripple effects from the water that's kind of just flowing away from the pan to reveal the gold nuggets. Again, we also see the gold plating on the reeded edges of the coin. That's definitely a very nice touch. Too bad this is only a 1 ounce silver coin. If this one can be a little bit bigger, maybe a 2 ouncer or a 5 ouncer, I think that will be a very significant pen to kind of hold in your hand. So I think that looks really, really cool. And then on the Queen effigy herself, it's a punch out look instead of the punch-in look from the other side. So that is also a very nice touch. At the initial look of this, I think these are all just proof finish, but the thing is, like, it's a bit darker. I initially thought this maybe plated with something else, or maybe just a layer of paint on it, or maybe just the lighting of the silver finish. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is a very handsome coin to own if you are into the commemoration of this 125th anniversary of the gold rush. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's been a very long video, and if you made it till the end of this video, I congratulate you for finishing up a long video like this. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below the video, and I sincerely appreciate you watching my video. Until next time, I will see you around, and take care.